students, hope everyone are doing good. Today I have come back with the new chapter that is called as International Institution. Today I am going to explain you the chapter in 10th standard part 2 political science. A chapter is called as International Institutions. So hope last video we have been posted regarding the chapter called as Post-Independent of India, and today I am going to talk to you regarding the chapter International Institutions. So what is the meaning of international institutions, how it started, how it developed, and what are its achievements, and how many organs it have, and what is benefited it by other country, and how we are benefited, and what are the achievements we are taking. All those things we are going to see in this chapter. So today I am going to talk regarding that international institutions, how we can do it, and what are the uses we are going to get. Okay, so today I will start my class, and today the first topic I am going to explain you regarding the establishment of UNO. So what is this UNO? It's called as United Nations Organization, and I am going to help explain you what are the aims of UNO, and what are the different institutions of UNO, and what are the achievements of UNO. So this chapter we have for your essay, and also this is an important chapter where you are going to learn regarding the international parliament you are going to learn. So first point I am going to explain you regarding the chapter called as establishment of UNO. As we all know, we had a First World War, and also we were having a Second World War. After the First World War, throughout the country, throughout the international world, they wanted to find some peace, and they wanted to find some security throughout all the countries they wanted to find out. And also when we talk about the World War First, there was a huge loss, and in that losses we lost many lives, we lost it. Economic depression had happened most of the country. Economically many countries started to come down, and we had a lot of financial burden. So all these losses to come to overpay, and again what is the loss we have done in the First World War, we thought that again it should not happen in the world, again we should not have any destruction in the world. So that is the reason the first organization which was found to find out the peace throughout the international level, it was called as League of Nations. But as the League of Nations was being started, without any expectation, without any result, we had to face a very more consequences and very more strict things we have to face away. So where it had led for the Second World War. Because the First World War, we thought that should be the last, again we should not have any war. But after the League of Nations we started by the American people, did not have a success because it led for the Second World War, and it was not success also. So when the Second World War happened, more than the First World, what all the losses we had, it has to be faced in the same manner. And when we have the same manner, we had a hectic of the losses we had in the Second World War. We had crores of people lost their life, crores of people became disabled, crores of people lost their lives, crores of people economically we had depressed. And this was the age where we had very atomic bombs was being dropped in the two places by the American. One was in the Nagasaki and one was in the Hiroshima, and it was being happened in the 1905. It was in the August month, and all these things what it made was greatly we had it fell into the great economic depression. Especially America also was facing the same issues. And during this time, the three important persons, one is from UK, one is from USSR, one is from America, United Kingdom, Union Soviet Social Republic, United States of America. So these three countries, they joined together and they wanted to set an organization. That organization is called as UNO. The first person is called as Winston Churchill. The second person is called as Joseph Stalin, and the third person is called as Franklin D. Roosevelt. So these three persons, they joined together and they started to give a coin for the United Nations organizations. And it was a clear structure was given by an American person called as Franklin D. Roosevelt. By 1945, January 1st, our United Nations organization started to form. When the United Nations organization was being started, many countries did not accept it, did not want to join with UNO. So when we started, we were having only 26 members. In the same year, on the June month, we had 51 countries started to join there. and later on, now almost we have 193 countries are the members of the UN. And in that very unlucky issues to say that India is not a permanent member, we are the temporary member. 7 countries are considered to be the permanent member. So one is UK, the second is called as Russia, third is called as America, and the fourth country is called as France, and the last country is called as China. These 5 countries are the permanent members of UN, and we are the India is a temporary member of UN. We are also striving to get into the permanent member, so very soon we will be reaching to that goal. And what is the aim? What are the aims? Why we have to start this UN? And how we have a preamble of the constitution? The same way, even the United Nations organizations also they have the preamble. They have their own rules and regulations. And in the preamble we have almost 19 chapters we have, and 111 articles are there throughout the world. All the people they have to get the liberty, and all the people have to get the freedom. So it starts, we the people of the world community. So it doesn't show any discrimination regarding any country, nor any religion, nor any caste, nor any creed. So it says that all the people in the world, everyone, we have a rights to survive in this world. So that is the reason this UN was been started, and we have almost 19 chapters we have, and 111 articles are there in the UN. So what are the main aims of UN? The main aims, almost we have 6 aims we have for the UN. And also this question is a very important question where we are going to ask for the 3 marks question. It is, what are the aims of UN? The aims of UN, we have 6 points we have for the aims of UN. The first point what we are going to have on the UN is safeguarding the international peace and security. So it doesn't look into the one country, it is going to take the care of all the 193 countries we have. It is going to take care that all the country have the peace and all the country have security. I am staying here, I am staying in India. Is it I have a free? I have a liberty. Without any fear, can I stay here? So this is called as a security. Just when you talk about this border issues, India and Pakistan border, China and India border, Afghanistan and India border, we have issues. We have border issues, we have terrorist attack, we have many people don't have a security in their life. Insecurity, they are going to lose their life. So we don't have here. That security should be given by the UN. So the first point it is going to give us safeguarding the international peace and security. This will be the first point. And what is the second point? Is fostering the cooperation among the nations. All the nations, they should have a cooperation. See, when we are living in the life, when we are leading in the family members, everybody should cooperate to run the family very well. When we are in the classroom, all the classmates, you should feel one, you should have a cooperating, only then a teacher can take the class. In the same way, when a country has to run good, all the states should be cooperative. Karnataka and Tamil Nadu should not quarrel, Karnataka and Kerala should not quarrel, nor Karnataka and Maharashtra we should have a quarrel. When we have this, a country cannot have a stability. In the same way, in all the nations, 193 nations also, we are leading our life very cooperatively. What happens here is, we will not face our third world war, we will not have a chances at all. So we will have a very cooperative, friendly manner we are going to live, where we are going to avoid the future war. For that reason, we wanted the fostering cooperation among the nations. The third thing, improving the faith in the human rights. So it was been declared by UN on the 10th December 1945. It was been declared that human rights, that is international human rights, we are going to celebrate on that day. It means everybody have a human rights. I have a rights to live, I have a rights to read, I have a rights to survive, I have a rights, what I will to do individually, I have a rights. In any of the places I can have my own rights. Nobody can say that you belong to this country, man, you are not supposed to live here. You belong to the Pakistan, you are not supposed to live here. Nobody have any restrictions to say that, because it's my right, international right. It is a human rights act. I'm not a slave to anybody. No, nobody can rule me. So I have an independent, I have an individual rights where I can lead my life. That is called as improving the faith in the human rights. So it was declared on the 10th of December. Every year we are going to celebrate on this day as an International Human Rights Day. We are going to celebrate. And in India also we have the human rights. We have 6 rights we have. In the fundamental we have a 6 rights. 7 rights we were having. 1 right was being removed. Now we have 6 rights. So that is right has been followed by throughout all the countries. The fourth is exploring the solutions. We are finding out the solutions. For what purpose we want to find out the solutions? Obviously we have many issues we have. See, now we have cultural issues, we have economic problems, we have social problems, we have education issues, we have all these issues in UNO. They are going to sit and they are going to discuss. Now this pandemic situation, I think we are all aware about this COVID. This COVID-19, it entered in the it entered in the 2019. 2020 it went to the peak, and just we are released now, and even again we have started to get into the second wave. So we are here what is going to happen, but in the UNO they will be trying out, that is WHO, World Health Organization, will be thinking regarding this issue, what to be done, how the medicines to be given, how we can have the social distancing, in what way we can preserve the people's health, how they are going to safeguard our everything. They will have this own problem and they are going to solve the problems for all those issues. So that is called as exploring the solutions. Then we'll have a providing the recognition for every nation, whether they have an agreement, whether they have a treaty. For every nation they should have one recognition. I can't say that this nation is very developed country, their status will be more. This country is not developing, it's very bad, so they don't have any recognition. They should not give any way. Whether it is a rich country, whether it is a poor country, when we are a member of UNO, all the members should be treated equally. That is called as giving some recognition for all the nations. They should get a recognition either in the condition basis or in the agreement basis. They have to get the recognition. That is called as international recognition, which will be provided by the UNO. And the last one is mutual trust. Today I am safe. Today I am sitting here. Today I am very happy here, because I know that no other countries will come and attack me, because we have a trust. We trust the China, we trust the Sri Lanka, we trust the Nepal, we trust the Bangladesh, because mutual trust. We feel that everybody is striving only for the peace and security. Everyone we have to lead in the same manner. So we are not going and attacking any other country. The other country people also will not come and attack us suddenly. So that mutual trust we have here. So because of that reason, we are surviving here very happily and also very peacefully. So this is what about the aims of the UNO. About the 6 aims have been explained. And this 6 aims is being affiliated by the 6 organs. Okay, we have the 6 aims, and the 6 aims also affiliated by the different organs of the UNO. So what are the different organs of UNO? What are the things it's going to be done? The 6 organs of UNO, it's called as UNO affiliated bodies or UNO organs. What all we are going to have? The first organ we are going to call it as General Assembly. The second organ is going to be called as Security Council. The third it is going to be called as Economic and Social Council. The fourth is called as Trusteeship Council. The fifth it is called as the International Court of Justice. And last is called as Secretariat. So our UNO headquarters we have in the New York, it is there. And the same way, each and every organs, they have their own headquarters and they have their own functions. When you talk about this General Assembly, it has been called as a General Assembly is being called as a World Parliament we are going to call. And here all the members will have, each and every country, 5 members will go and 1 vote they will have. Whatever the problem that each and every countries will have, they are going to sit, they are going to talk, and with the chairman they are going to discuss what all the issues they are going to have. That is the main work is done by the General Assembly. When you talk about the Security Council, it only solves the problem, it only gives a security to the international level. Whatever the problem we have a Kashmir problem, the UNO will send the army to us. We have Iran and Iraq problem, the UNO will send us a security. So the defense forces and the international phases, what all we are going to have, everything will be given by the council. It is called as a Security Council. Then what about the Economic and the Social Council? So this is a council where it is going to see the economic condition of a country and what are the social problems we are going to have in the country. In many countries we have economic issues, we have social issues also. Economically means where we are going to have the per capita income is very less, national income is very less, standard of living is very less, hunger we have more, malnutrition we have more, poverty we have more. All these issues will come in the economic. Social, what are the conditions of social behavior is child labor, education level, how we are giving importance, health issues, how we are giving, life expectation. So a great thing with us nowadays in India, only at 63 years a man can be survived. That is only the lifespan of a man in India is only 63 years. When you see why is age span is only 63 years, because we are not having a healthy food, we are not getting a healthy nutrition, what we have to get, we are not getting that. we are not getting a good calorie. Actually, a person has to get a good calorie is 1620 calories a man has to get the food sufficient to him. But we are not getting that. That is called as malnutrition. It is called as a poverty we are going to call, and it is also called as hunger we are going to call. What is the reason? What are the solutions for that? That is we are going to discuss in the the council called as Economic and the Social Council. In the last it is called as a, fourth one it is called as a Trusteeship Council. Why this Trusteeship Council has been founded here is, when you talk about the 1995 and before 1995, many countries was being ruled by the colonies. Imperialism we got that. Now example, when we talk about India, and the 15th century Portuguese entered to us. Till 1947 they were ruling us. That means we were not having our own administration. We don't have any own authority. We were under the rule of the Britishers. So not only the India, in the same way many countries were under the rule of the other country. So in that way to make one country to get independent, for that reason we were having a trusteeship council were there. But now it is not functioning because almost all the countries are independent. No country is depending on other country, or no countries are having a colonialism or imperialism we don't have in the timing now in the international army. So for that reason now trusteeship is not working to that extent. So it's not being used at all nowadays, we can say that. International Court of Justice. Okay, so this is very much important, where these members will be appointed from the General Assembly. International Court will be there and international judges will be there. Whatever the solutions we have, whatever the problems we have between the two nations, everything will be solved by the International Court of Justice. So there will be like a consulting, giving some problems, giving some solutions, what are the things we can be done. All these things, everything will be given by will be suggested by the people who are in the International Court of Justice. And the last is called as Secretariat. So here the permanent member as well as the temporary member, they will be appointed here. Once in 3 years they can appoint here. So everybody will have a routine where what all the improvement they can do for their country, they will have a chances to do that. So from the 1995 till now, we have many country people, not only the permanent staff, the non-permanent staffs also, they have been worked in the Secretariat Council to look after the Security Council, to look after the country's underdevelopment, well-development, what all aims we have, and how the country can be upliftment equal to other country. All those things we are going to see. So that is called as Secretarial Councils we are going to see. So today I have been explaining you about the international institutions regarding the establishment of UNO, what are the aims of UNO, what are the different institutions of UNO, and what are the achievements of UNO. So in achievements we have 3 achievements we have. One is peacekeeping achievements, second is social security achievements, and third is economic stability achievements. The 3 achievements is being given by the UNO. So I think today what the class I have taken you and what are the points I have taken you, what has been reached to you. And also I hope that you people are enjoying my video and seeing my video. And thanks for watching this video. Stay free and always wear your mask wherever you move out. Thank you. Goodbye.